The bottom line is that at the end of the day, I want you to be profitable. And the reason that you need to be profitable is because and do the hard work of tracking your numbers. I want you to be able to uh, every day be able to see exactly where you are financially, not just in your business, but also personally. Remember that your business is a vehicle to help you achieve your life goals. And you want to have that digital dashboard, just like you see in this cockpit of this 787 Dreamliner, so that you can reach your life goals. You see, profits fund your dreams. And as you all know, there was a time that I was in a lot of debt. My company was in a lot of debt. And today, because I decided to learn this process, which wasn't easy, again, you don't have to do the work. You just have to be aware of it. You don't have to really do any of the actual work. You just have to, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, you have to understand it. And when you understand what it will do for you, when you really get yourself honed in on what more profit would do for you, then things begin to change. I allowed myself to get in a lot of debt. I overspent. I wasn't, and it doesn't sound fun, for example, to do like a budget, a budget. I mean, that's no fun until you figure out that that's the path to your dreams. Leadership is effectively communicating your vision, and your business is a vehicle. It's like an airplane, and profit is the fuel. First, how much profit do you want? And why do you want it? Well, Howard, that sounds like a dumb question. What do you mean? Why do I want it? Well, because if you don't have a real reason other than I just want more money, you're probably not going to make it. But when your goal, so it's purpose and profit. Because if we have a purpose and we make a profit, we can continue to fulfill that purpose. But if we don't make profit, we can't fulfill our purpose. We can't fulfill our mission. We can't fulfill our vision. Remember that you only have five numbers. You have income, you have cost of sale, gross profit, and remember on cost of sale and gross profit, you want to look at the percentages, okay? Then you have your expenses. We'll go through this here in just a second. But then you have your expenses, and then you have your net income. Okay. So number one, let's go through your first, you've already decided your profit. What's the bottom line going to be? And then go through your overhead. What's going to change in 2026? Maybe your health insurance is going to go up. Not maybe, it goes up every year. If you offer benefits, you got to put that in the budget. Marketing, are you going to invest more or less? And maybe you're going to move those things around. By the way, this is an area right here that can really make a huge difference. A huge difference. How do I plan on helping my team over at my service company get the sales up? Marketing. We're going to do more marketing. I'll invest, maybe another $100,000 here and we'll get those numbers up, but I'll get that money back on the bottom line. Does that make sense? Okay. Payroll. Are you going to add people? Are you going to reduce people? Um, if I have a prospect, they're not a client yet, but Lord willing, they'll become one. They want to hire a salesperson. And so they're going to invest some money, but assuming that that person is successful, that outside salesperson is going to bring more money in. Okay. And then your cost of goods sold, going through that. is the percentage going to stay the same? You take your the profit that you want, you list that, then what your overhead's going to be gives you your gross profit, and then if you know what the percentage of your cost of goods is, then you know what your percentage of gross profit is. And you simply take your gross profit number and divide that by 70% or by whatever the gross profit percentage is. This is why it's important to have these numbers lined up. And as you can see, Ellen helped us, get everything numbered. So if you're talking to your accountant or talking to somebody, they don't go, well, what, where's that? Go to 5-1040. Let's look at that number. Okay. Now, when you know this, and so what I personally do, here's what I do. What I do is I go through each one of these line items, line by line, but we're going to go through and we're going to say, for example, we talked about health insurance. How much is that going to be in 2026? I don't want to just take that hit if it's 40,000 more, but let's say it's 40,000 more. If I do if I save 80,000 by trimming my cost of goods sold by 2% and that cost me 40,000 more, I'm good. I still got 40,000 more on my bottom line. Does that make sense to everybody? So this is all I do. I just go through each and every expense. Fortunately, I don't have all these that Scott has to deal with. He's got to deal with a lot. Um, and I screenshotted this because this is how we're going to make a difference in this company this year. Last year we only invested 3.77%. Guess what? This year, that wasn't enough to get us to where we needed to be this year. So in other words, if you're soft, guess what you got to do? You got to put more into your marketing efforts. Where you're going to make the biggest difference in your business is most likely, unless you're grossly overspending on overhead, unless you're grossly overspending on your labor and materials, which you might be. And even if you are, increasing sales is the key. So, first, increase sales from existing clients. How do you do that? By emailing them, mailing, calling, retargeting, running good promotions for your existing clients. Number two is increase sales from new clients. What's the best way to do that? Referrals. But listen, if you got some direct marketing that's working, then maybe what you need to do is put some fuel on the fire. That's what I plan to do with my service company. Get their numbers, our numbers back up. Is I'm gonna plug in some more marketing stuff. Okay, so remember that direct marketing with ads, direct sales, actually going out there and making sales calls, doing what my wife did for 30 years. Um, and then, of course, referral marketing. And then, depending on where you are with your pricing, I know it's kind of scary to do, but we've also talked about this in the series and maybe increasing the amount of money that people invest with you when they work with you. But all of this comes from getting to KFP, getting your financials in order, and using them on a daily, weekly basis.